Hey guys, what's going on? We're back, and today we're going to be working on this almost mint Toyota Camry. I'm going to do some rust repair. Look, we got a hole here, all the way right through outside. There's my foot. So we're going to be fixing that. So I'm going to show you guys how to weld in or build and weld in a new patch panel, because they don't make this patch panel. So I'm going to build a new section of patch panel and then show you how to install it. I'm gonna get to pulling this bumper off so that I have a better area to work. So I got the car up in the air, jack stands. I finished stripping the rest of the trunk, all the plastics out of the way. Now it's time to take the bumper off. Okay guys, our rear bumper's off. Our rear bumper cover is off, and the actual rear bumper is off. Once I got the cover off, I realized that this was still kind of in the way. But as you can see, this looks a lot worse from the outside than it did from the inside. This is going to be my project for the next day or so. It looks like I'm going to have to build an inner skin, because that's pretty flimsy, and a new outer skin. Hole cut out, outer section of body cut out, and then the inner section of body cut out. There's actually 2 layers. Now that everything's kind of cut out, it's pretty rusty. I'm gonna have to really do some cleaning all the way around here. Hopefully get some good metal to weld to. Okay, so I got it cleaned up enough to the point where I can do this inner filler piece that goes in here that will close up the trunk. There was not enough metal, because there was like a lip that actually went all the way around. I can't remember. Oh no, it was on the inside. There was like a 1/2 inch lip that went all the way around. And as I was cleaning that up, there were so many chunks blowing off of it that it didn't really matter. So I cut it all out, and I'm gonna build a new lip basically off of this edge. I think it's going to be easier if I actually weld on the inside edge of the trunk and fold the lip outward. Oh no, battery died. Oh wait, battery didn't die. I'm going to try and weld a new piece in here and then make an outwards edge lip so that I can weld a new panel all the way across here on the inside lip. That way the trunk is sealed to the exterior of the body, and then I can make a new section for the outside of the body to basically make it the same way it was from factory. So last night I got that all cut out and ready to make the new pieces for it. I got a big 4x4 sheet of, I don't even know what gauge steel this is, but it's definitely, it's gonna have some strength to it. So we're gonna start with, again, making this new lip to get this all welded to. First section of new steel going in. You did see me make 2 marks. So the first mark was obviously my cut mark, and the second mark is going to be my bend line for a 90-degree bend. And this is obviously too long, I think. I'm going to have to take a rope and measure that out, but then I will show you how I'm going to bend this. This new lip is in place. It's a nice tight fit all the way along the body. Some adjustments are going to be needed as I go because it's such a small piece of metal. The black mark still, I need to bend it 90 degrees outwards of the body, and because of these 2 bends that are in here, it's not going to want to bend nicely. Easiest way to do that is to do some cut lines. That way I can bend this piece out, and then each of the corners or each of the sections in here will also bend out. The nice thing is the radius isn't crazy. I don't have to worry about it actually pulling this sheet metal out. If the radius was a lot tighter, you would actually end up having to make smaller slits. I'm going to make my marks in the body just so that I know basically the top of my radius and the bottom of my radius. I think I'm happy with that. So this is about halfway between the 2 marks. Also do the same on the other side, just because the distances might be a little bit different. I don't know if this body's square or not. Sheet metal work kind of sucks when you get into this kind of stuff. When I started, the hole that you could see from inside of the trunk was only about this big. It ended up turning into quite a large hole that I had to fix, and add in some other pieces and stuff. I don't mind doing sheet metal work, but there are much more fun things that I could be doing. So just to show you, I did have a pretty good guess. It is 3.5 inches from each mark. I did kind of mark out this section to show that this is going to be the side that I'm bending. I'm going to mark out these. Let's do it really quickly here. So actually, I just did 1/2 inch wide, but I do have to cut each of these lines, and I'll show you why when we get back into the vehicle. Okay, so they're cut, they're bent, they look a little rough, but that'll be easy enough to straighten out once it's in the body, and this back piece and this lip is actually welded to the body. But I'll show you right now why I did that. So, as you can see, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't be able to keep the nice tight radius and still have a flange for the piece that's going to close up this hole to weld to. So now I just have to bend this down, also bend this down, and do the same thing here. But I think what I'm going to do first is actually get a couple tack welds in here to hold this thing nice in place. it's tack welded in place. With sheet metal, you can't lay a continuous bead. You kind of just gotta give it a bunch of little tacks here and there. Once I get this wall filled in, I'll be able to dissipate some more heat, meaning I'll be able to get a bunch more tacks in here, a bunch more stronger tacks in here. Like they're strong enough, like I can bend on this metal and not have to worry about them breaking. And it's starting to rain, like actually starting to rain. So I gotta get all this stuff cleaned up because I got my welder out here. Okay, well, the rain's finished. That lasted all of like 10 minutes. And there's blue sky on the horizon behind me. So let's get back to work. We're gonna bend this down. Okay, so we got this lip bent down. You guys may make fun of me for using the claw hammer, but I left my body hammer at work. It's hard to see, but this is actually perfectly flush here, and these pieces can easily be made perfectly flush when I tack weld them in place. So that side's also bent. Now I just got to bend this section down, and it shouldn't be too bad using this. All I'm doing is lining the edge of these knockoff vice grips from Princess Auto, I think, actually, which is like the Canadian version of Harbor Freight. There's a lot of movement right now. But once I get this filler piece put in here, there shouldn't be any more movement. So I'm going to clean up this edge here. What's going to happen is this first piece of new sheet metal is actually going to go to the outer edge here and then up to these grommets. And I'm going to just clean up all the paint on here. Everything basically along these lines will be spot welded, and then on the inside I'll lay new seam sealer along the seams. I got the top piece all nice and shiny, all nice and cleaned up. There's a couple spots that I gotta clean up a little bit more. This is the top lip of where I'm gonna spot weld the top piece to, and the bottom lip of where I'm gonna weld the bottom piece to. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna make the template for this. Cereal boxes, pop boxes, and beer can boxes I find have always been the best for making templates for sheet metal. Actually templates for anything. How thin yet sturdy it is. It's not actually corrugated. Because of how thin this is, it makes it nice and easy to actually make the template for. Try to find my tape measure. It looks like 30.5 inches is going to be my total length of my template, and the height is going to be, I'm going to go 5.5 total height. For as nice and sunny as it is out here, it's windy as shit. So now that I have a rough square, cut it out. So bring this over here, put it up like this. What I'm actually going to do is clamp this in place here. Take my marker, then go along the back side and follow my edge. We'll go and trim this up with the scissors. We'll transfer it to some metal. Oh, I like to conserve as much metal as possible when I'm building anything because, well, metal is expensive. So we got the template knocked out, and we're just gonna follow the template. So there's the template. This is the piece of metal that we're gonna cut. Then I'll show you how well that fits in there. Okay, so I just kind of have it held here, but it fits like it belongs. What I'm gonna do is, because I know I have about a half inch, well, roughly about a half inch all the way around on this lip. So I'm gonna actually draw a mark half inch all the way around. You drill some 3/16 holes all the way around this. That way I can spot weld this into place. It fits in there nice, covers up the holes. All of the holes are drilled for the spot welds. All of the holes that have the spot weld in them match up nicely with a nice section of clean sheet metal. Hey guys, there it is, spot welded in place. I had to clean it up, then seam seal from the inside. Here's what the inside looks like. The inside's all nice and sealed up, but it's solid again. Now we're gonna make the, I guess, exoskeleton, which is gonna go from this point to this point, and it actually has to bend down and come into this lip that I built. I want to show you that I have my second template built. This is actually the piece of my first template, and then if I take this out of here, you can see that my first template is primed, and my second template actually looks a little bit different. It actually goes a little bit higher. I'm going to get the template cut out, I'm going to get my bends where they need to bend, and get a tack welded in place, and I'll be back to show you guys what that looks like. Looks like I'll be finishing this tomorrow. I forgot my other vice grips at work. Basically, they're going to be long enough that go up in behind here to pinch this gap closed. What I do have is this section on both sides welded closed. The third layer of this bottom lip done. Once I get these up in here welded nice and solid, then I can trim this lip along the top, straighten it out, and weld it to the back wall. It's already 100 times stronger than it was. Same with in here. Like, that's a solid thud. There's no resonance there, so everything is nice and solid already. Try to give you a quick update. I got the back piece in place, seam sealer on, primed and seam sealed on the inside. Also, I'm going to actually do a layer of rocker guard, and then I'm going to put the paint match down. I don't think it turned out too bad, especially in the trunk, like inside. Outside's not as nice, but it was really difficult to work with. Finally got this car finished. The bumper's in place, the paint rocker guarded and paint matched. with the bumper in, it's hard to see the paint match. Going here, it's also paint matched in here. Seam sealed all the way around. This wall is solid. Bolt this bumper back into place and then put the bumper cover back on, and we're gonna be done. Also, one more thing. I did get my transmission, so here's a couple pictures of it. I went with the MT82 6-speed manual transmission out of a 2014 Mustang V6, because what I found out was all of the V6 bell housings, whether it be the EcoBoost 3.5, the non-EcoBoost 3.5, the 3.7, all share the same bell housing pattern. They also all share the same flex plate / flywheel bolt pattern, and they all have the same size 164 tooth bell housing. That makes life easy. That's what I'll be using. I'll be using the MT82. I won't be using the stock shifter because, well, I got it from LKQ and they didn't send a shifter. They sent me the bolts for the shifter mount and stuff like that, but my research has told me that the stock Mustang shifter linkage, basically because it's mounted to the transmission and not the body, and it's not a top loader, the shifter linkage is actually really weak. So MGW actually offers a really nice complete replacement unit for the shifter. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the MGW shifter. Well guys, that's it. Complete rear wall rust repair on a Toyota Camry. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications every time I post a video, and follow on Instagram at Ruthless Garage. We got lots of stuff coming up. I can't wait to get back on this thing.